Today, I will talk to you about the bubonic plague. I will cover the following topics in this lecture. First, I will explain what the bubonic plague is. Then, I will discuss its signs and symptoms. If someone gets infected with this disease, what are the signs and symptoms? I will also talk about the recent cases of the plague in Russia, where they are happening and how they are spreading. After that, I will explain how to take precautions against this plague. And if someone does get infected, what is the treatment? Finally, I will tell you about the Black Death, which you might have heard about. It occurred in the 14th century. I will explain it in detail at the end of the lecture. Let's first understand what the bubonic plague is. It is a disease caused by bacteria, and if it is not treated, it can be fatal. We also call it the Black Plague. The bacteria responsible for this disease is called Yersinia pestis. Now, let's move on to the signs and symptoms of this disease. What are the signs and symptoms if someone is infected with the bubonic plague? They develop a fever, experience chills, suffer from headaches, and there is significant body pain, fatigue, and muscle aches. Swelling of the lymph nodes also occurs. Now, let's move on to the precautions for this plague. What precautions can we take to prevent the spread of this plague? One of the main focuses is on reducing fleas, which are the primary cause of this plague. We should also avoid contact with wild rodents, like squirrels and rabbits, especially the wild ones. Additionally, in areas where there are more rodents, we should use insect repellents, or avoid going to those areas altogether. Now let's discuss the causes of the bubonic plague. What are the causes of this plague? As I mentioned earlier, it is caused by bacteria. The name of the bacteria is Yersinia pestis. However, this bacteria spreads through fleas, just like diseases such as malaria or dengue, which are caused by pathogens like Plasmodium or bacteria. But these diseases are spread by an organism, and these organisms are called vectors. In the case of the bubonic plague, the vector is mammals and fleas. These fleas feed on animals like mice, rats, rabbits, and squirrels. They rely on these animals for their food, and from them they acquire the bacteria. When these fleas come into contact with humans, they transmit the bacteria to humans, and this is how the disease spreads. Once one person is infected, there is a chance of human-to-human transmission, which means the disease can spread from one person to another. Now, let's talk about the treatment for this plague. What is the treatment? The answer is simple. Any disease caused by bacteria is treated with antibiotics. And fortunately, we have many antibiotics available today that can easily treat this disease. So there is no need to worry. Now, let me tell you what the Black Death was. The Black Death was the same plague that spread in the 14th century in Europe. It caused the deaths of 75 to 200 million people. Yes, this disease alone led to such a high number of deaths. But there is no need to worry today, because back then there were no antibiotics. Now, we have many effective antibiotics that can easily treat this disease.